is brought to you by Squarespace. The weather has turned. Last week was definitely the last of summer, unless maybe next week, I'm not sure. Anyways, this week it is dark, gloomy, rainy. We're supposed to have a storm today. And yeah, we really are getting a taste of autumn this week. So I think it is time to slow down, cozy up, enjoy some nice indoor hobbies. I have my first cinnamon apple tea of the season. I have a cookie. I'm just gonna sit here, do some knitting, maybe play a record, maybe later on, maybe burn a candle. I feel like this is one of the last chances I have to burn a candle for the next few years before baby becomes mobile and starts moving around. Not so often, of course. I know candles aren't really healthy, but you know, I do still have quite a stash that I would like to eventually get through someday. So maybe burn a candle for a little bit. And yeah, just enjoy this slower week of early autumn. I am still working on my wrap cardigan that I started a few videos ago. It is a pattern handmade by Florence, the Robinson wrap. And I have officially finished the yoke according to the instructions, but I'm just lengthening it a little bit because I think Florence must be really tiny. Last time I made her step-by-step cardigan, it came out cropped on me, whereas on hers it hit her like below the hips. My gauge swatch was the same, so I think I'm just much taller than her and I need to add a little bit of length. So I'm just adding a bit to the yoke before I move on and split my sleeves from the body. Also, as I was sitting here knitting, I was thinking there is another little project I would like to maybe interject here that will just make my knitting and crochet much easier going forward. See, I have this little bag that I use as my project bag. This is honestly just the bag that our bedding came in, but I feel like it's perfect. It's the perfect size. In there, I always keep one extra skein of yarn, or two in this case, since I'm doing a double thread. And then I have a few little things. So for example, I have this needle measure and kind of stitch counter thing, I guess. That's really, really handy. I have some extra wool scraps to do things like separating sleeves. I always keep those in there. And then I have, of course, my stitch markers and everything. And I have my plastic detachable stitch markers in this little pouch. Then my beautiful fancy earring style non-detachable stitch markers and my needle, my blunt tip needle. And I would like to have all of these organized in a bit of a better way so that they're not just floating around the bottom of my project bag. And I have them in this little pouch now, but it doesn't work that great. I would like to get something a little bit better. So I was thinking of maybe making myself something. And a while back, I made this thing for my friend. I made her a circular needle pouch that I embroidered with a really cute knitting design using my embroidery machine. So I think I might just make a smaller version of that for myself. So I might get to that at some point this week. We are going through the 4-month sleep regression, so we'll see how far I get. But I feel like that would be a nice goal for this week. So far, I'm having a really great time knitting this cardigan and I cannot wait to see how this will come out. It's still really hard to try on. I tried it kind of for length as I, came to the end of the yoke instructions, but you really can't tell anything at this stage yet. There is a project I would like to get started on, and I shouldn't wait too long to do that actually, because it is getting cooler outside. I would love to make Flores a little pointy hat. Like a little gnome hat to wear when it's cold outside. I think that would be so cute. So I will check Ravelry, see if there are any free patterns available that I feel like would be appropriate, and otherwise I'm fairly sure I can just come up with something myself. I could definitely crochet it without a pattern. I don't think I would be able to knit it without a pattern, but I do think knitting would be better because it's stretchier, so maybe I should look for a knitting pattern. I'm sure there are some, but yeah, I think that would be absolutely adorable. My birthday present from my husband last year, like my last birthday, was a flower subscription, which means that I get a fresh bouquet of flowers delivered every month. I look forward to it every month. Flowers get delivered, I get to arrange them, which is something I am very much not good at, by the way, but with a little bit of practice, I'm sure the 12th bouquet will be beautiful. I'm being quite noisy, let's hope I don't wake the baby, but should be all right. Just gonna change out this water. This is my absolute favorite one, and it has been in pretty much every bouquet since like May, I think. I had this in my bridal bouquet as well. It's a campanula. And I've actually looked into potentially growing this in the garden, but it's a flower that you have to grow from seed. And so far, everything I've ever tried to grow from seed has failed. But maybe a few years down the line, when I'm a little bit more experienced with gardening and I've actually filled up the garden with perennials, I can try my hand at growing flowers from seed. I think it could be really nice. If I could have that in the garden, oh my gosh. It's also a biannual, so you have to be really patient with it. Means it only blooms on the second year. But I feel like if I persevere, that one will be so worth it, because it's literally my favorite flower. I do recognize quite a few things from these bouquets from my garden, like these gladiola I have planted. They didn't perform very well this year. It's been a very difficult year for the garden. Ladies' mantle here. Obviously I have loads of that. I'd say that has pretty much turned into a weed in my garden. I think this is some kind of sedum. Snapdragons. Another one of those flowers that I would love to have in the garden, and I do have some. There are a few little snapdragons that pop up every year in different locations every year because they sell seed, but I would love to grow those beautiful tall like pink, light pink ones that you often see in cottage gardens. I believe this is larkspur, also one of the flowers I would love to grow in the garden one day. Has to be agastache, because it smells like licorice. I planted that a few weeks back. And then this, oh, I used to have something very similar growing in the garden as well, but it fell victim to the slugpocalypse. This video is very kindly sponsored by Squarespace, the perfect place to go if you need to build yourself a website. They have now launched Squarespace Blueprint, which is a guided design system that helps you build your website from the ground up with all of the features, layout and styling options that you need and that fit your brand and the way you want to present yourself or your business. They have really nice AI features that help you curate a tone of voice, write catchy bits of copy for your website, and they also have integrated optimized SEO tools that help you get discovered and reach more people. It's really easy to completely customize your website starting from a template. You just simply drag and drop sections of the website, works on desktop or mobile, and makes it super easy to get exactly the look and functionality that you want. So if you would like to try this out, you can head to squarespace.com to start your free 14-day trial. And then once you're ready to launch your website, go to squarespace.com/Loepsie and use code Loepsie to get 10% off of your first purchase of a website or a domain. I came up here to look for some fabric to create my little pouch with, and I realized, wouldn't it be so cute if I made them matching? Like if I took my project pouch here, my project bag, and embroidered that as well. So what if I make a little design on this and then a matching one on the pouch? So maybe I can do the whole knitting embroidery on this, because it's a pretty big image. A ball of yarn with needles and then flowers around. So what if I do matching flowers on the little Notion pouch? So maybe a white linen or a cream or something that could go with this. And then yeah. And then I'll just have to find some designs that would be suitable. Let's look for some fabric. I feel like this could work, maybe. It's a bit of a basic choice, but at least it doesn't limit what colors I can use in the embroidery. This could also work, another cream kind of canvas-like material. I actually think this is what I used for my friend's knitting pouch. You know what? I might just go for that actually. Okay, I need to pick out the colors for my design. I think I would like to keep it pretty neutral. This is the design right here. I think it's really, really cute. Some golds would be nice. This would go great. Brown, of course. That one, not so sure. Maybe this darker brown, that's great. Yes, gorgeous. This one maybe. It's coming out very autumnal, isn't it? It does need a green for the leaves, but oh, that one's nice. How about this one? No, I think that's too bright of a green. Neutrals only, or do I go in with a pop of something? I love my pinks, of course, but what could work? If I use a warmer shade like this, maybe these two could work with this palette. Okay, let me try and input these into the design, see what I end up with and if I need any more contrast or not. This is the color scheme I arrived at. So it's a lot more neutral than it was before. This would work great with the brown bag, like the orangey brown, but still feel not too autumnal. I feel like this is a pretty year-round design. Let's embroider this. I'm really excited. It's been really long since I did that. I love it. Oh, it came out so cute. Few little mistakes. I didn't notice that my thread had jammed, so the bottom thread came up through it. I might fix that by hand. And then here, these little leaves, they were supposed to be green, but I didn't notice that it was time for a thread change, so they came out brown. But I think that's okay. It's still really, really cute. But there's this beautiful gold thread running through it, and in real life it shows up much better than it does on camera. It's really, really pretty. It's an actual project bag instead of something that my bedding came in. Very, very exciting stuff. Now I just need to actually make my pouch. Very glad I did this. So cute! I just realized I have these textile markers and I thought, what if? Maybe if I mix these two together. Let's give it a try. That worked much better than I expected even. Wow, alrighty. Fixed it in a much quicker way than trying to hand embroider. Yay! I can't find any florals that match the ones on the embroidery I already did, so I decided to go for an initial instead with some florals, and I used the same colors that I used in the other design. So I'm gonna make this way smaller, embroider this. Still gonna be matching a little bit, but it won't be as jarring that the florals are very different. Came out a little bigger than expected, but that's okay. It's really cute. Love how it came out, and I think it's a good enough complement to this one. Yeah. So now I just need to make this into a pouch. I found the cutest hat pattern. Look at that. Isn't this just adorable? It's not as pointy as I thought, but maybe a longer pointed hat will be better once baby starts walking. And now that he's pretty much lying all the time or just sitting, pixie style hat like this would be better. This is a free pattern. I'm definitely gonna make it. I will let you know how it goes. Oh, so cute. I really am quite pleased with my little pouch here, in use currently, and turning out to be really handy. I have my needle just stuck in here. The embroidery ended up on the back. I was distracted. I wanted it to be up here, but I actually don't mind. It looks all right. So I have my needle, my knitting measure thing, a little pair of scissors that always comes in handy, my detachable stitch markers and my non-detachable stitch markers, and usually I would have those 2 pieces of spare yarn in here. They're currently in use because I separated the sleeves on my knitting, on my little cardigan project. That currently looks like this. There we go, we have the beginning of sleeves, which means that I can finally kind of try it on. I also realized as I was doing this that I have a few extra stitches, a few more than I was supposed to have according to the pattern, but if I try it on like this, I think honestly that's fine because it's still tiny. This is a very tight-fitting, that's not right, it's a very tight-fitting cardigan, so I think a few extra stitches definitely won't hurt. So obviously it's still on the needle, but this is how it's shaping up, and I'm really excited because I love it so far. I'm very happy with the color. I've actually arrived at my favorite stage of knitting, which is just keep going for however many rows. I have this app on my smartwatch that I use to do that. It's just a very simple counter because this is always with me. It's a little bit easier, more accessible than jotting it down on a piece of paper, which I do when I have to do more complicated stuff. But as long as it's just counting rows, I like to use that because I always have it on me. But yeah, so that is the status of my cardigan currently. I will check if I have any yarn that would fit that little gnome hat, and if I don't, I'll look online, see if I can order anything. But I think this is where I'm gonna sign off for this week, so thank you so much for hanging out with me again. I hope you have an absolutely lovely weekend, and I will see you again next week.